Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dive into the world of corporate filings. Today we're cracking open OraSure Technologies' latest proxy statement. And let me tell you, it's not as dry as you might think. We're talking executive pay, potential stock plan changes, and a few hints about where this company sees itself going. First up, let's check out the letter to shareholders. The CEO, Terry Eglinton Manor, is talking about transforming health through actionable insights. The main topics include cash balance, the expansion of diagnostic tests and sample management solutions, and insourcing their manufacturing efforts to the US to lower costs and increase efficiency. Okay, mark your calendars. The annual meeting is on May 14th. It's virtual, so no need to book a flight to Washington. You can join from the comfort of your own home at www.vote.yeah25. Now, the meat of the matter, what are we actually voting on? There are 4 key proposals to consider: electing 3 Class I directors, ratifying their accounting firm, voting on amendment to their stock award plan. For the directors, we've got Terry Eglinton Manor, David Shulkin, and John Kenny all up for re-election. The audit committee wants to keep Grant Thornton L as their accounting firm. Then comes the non-binding vote on executive pay, also known as say on pay. It is important to see if we agree with the company on how their executives are being paid. Finally, the company wants to increase the number of shares available under their stock award plan by 6,000 shares. These increases will be sufficient for the granting of equity awards under the amended and restated stock award plan for approximately 1 additional year. This is important because it will allow the company to hire and retain their executives. So how did OraSure do last year? Let's take a look. They generated $27 million of cash flow from operations, and their core business delivered positive cash flow from operations in Q3 and Q4. Diagnostic revenues grew 3% year over year in 2024 and drove $24.05 of annualized run rate cost savings in 2024 and drove $24.5 of annualized run rate cost savings in 2024. They also bought Sherlock Biosciences, which they expect to allow them to enter the molecular testing space. They also launched a strategic partnership with Sapphirose. How are the executives paid? Most of their pay is variable and predominantly based on performance. They get a base salary, annual bonuses through the OraSure Technologies incentive plan, and long-term equity awards. The company says it wants to align executive pay with stockholder value. Some key features include targeting total compensation at the 50th percentile of their peer group, having strong stock ownership requirements for executives and directors, and a compensation recoupment or clawback policy. They also don't allow hedging or pledging of company stock. Time to see who actually owns the company. BlackRock has a big chunk, owning 9.7% of the common stock. Vanguard Group owns 5.7% and Canberra Capital Management owns 5.5%. CEO Terry Eglinton Manor owns 2.2%. It seems the board determined that Mara Aspinall, Dr. Nancy Gagliano, John Kenny, Lelio Marmora, David Shulkin, and Robert McMahon are all independent. Terry Eglinton Manor, the CEO, is not. This is good. You want most of your board to be independent of management. Next up, the audit committee report. The audit committee has reviewed the company's financial statements and has recommended to the board that the audited financial statements be included in the company's annual report on Form 10-K for the year ended December 31, 2024 for filing with the SEC. Here are the audit fees from Grant Thornton. Their accounting firm audit fees cost $1,006,336 and tax fees cost $210,958. All the services were pre-approved by the audit committee. It looks like they changed accounting firms from KPMG to Grant Thornton. The decision was approved by the audit committee after a competitive selection process. The compensation committee is composed of independent non-employee directors who oversee the executive compensation program. It's made up of Nancy Gagliano, John Kenny, and David Shulkin. None of them are employees of the company. All right, time to see how they're paying their top dogs. The named executive officers, or NEOs, are Terry Eglinton Manor CEO, Kenneth McGrath CFO, and Kathleen Weber Chief Product Officer. In 2024, OraSure delivered progress on its strategic transformation. They generated $27 million in cash flow from operations. Diagnostic revenues grew, and they acquired Sherlock Biosciences. They also invested in Sapphirose and launched a partnership with Diagnostics Direct. The compensation committee gave CEO Terry Eglinton Manor a meets rating in 2024, which was a decrease from her outstanding rating in 2023. Kenneth McGrath also received a meets rating, also a decrease from his outstanding rating in 2024. Percent year over year, some of the war percent year over year. The vast majority of each NEO's annual compensation opportunity is provided in variable cash and long-term equity compensation that is intended to align such compensation with the long-term interests of our stockholders. The CDNA shows some charts that outline the variable pay. 87% of Carrie's pay is variable. Let's focus on 2024. Carrie Eglinton Manner's salary was $721,000 with a stock award of $18,731 and a bonus of $689,997. Kenneth $939 and a bonus of $689,500 with a stock award of $90,43,593. Kenny $71,300 with a stock award of $90,43,051 with a stock award of $661,300. Salary was $483,008 with a stock award of $943,050. 8 bones 9 irons and a bonus of $233.54. Kathleen Weber's salary was $490,43,054 and $509,43,054 with a stock award of $90,43,810.16 and $509 and a bonus of $233,054 and with a stock award of $661,003. This section tells us which stocks and options that these executives haven't actually gotten yet. The amounts are pretty significant. The ratio of the CEO's pay to the median employee's pay was 78-1. The median employee made $71,998. The company wants to increase the number of shares authorized for grant under the plan. You should read more about this to determine if this is something you want to vote for or against. The table presents fees for professional audit services rendered by Grant Thornton, LLPGT, and KPMG, LLE Pay PMG. These are important numbers to review because it is a good way of telling if something might have happened that the company doesn't want to tell you. So what's my take on all this? OraSure is clearly trying to transform and diversify its business beyond its traditional rapid diagnostics. The focus on new partnerships and acquisitions is a good sign that they're not content to sit still. The leadership team is being incentivized to create long-term shareholder value. Though it is interesting to see how the executive performance ratings decreased, and it's important to remember that all of those factors contribute to shareholder value. There are clear risks though. They're facing economic uncertainty, and government funding for public health programs is always a question mark. It'll be interesting to watch how they manage these challenges. Overall, OraSure seems to be making the right moves to position itself for future growth, but they'll need to execute well in a shifting landscape. Keep an eye on their revenue growth, their ability to manage costs, and how effectively they integrate these new acquisitions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more corporate decoder deep dives. Let me know which company we should decode next.